In this video, we'll walk through how to instrument an AWS Lambda function with Dash0 using OpenTelemetry. The Lambda integration page serves as the source of truth for the setup we're about to follow, and the troubleshooting section covers most issues you might run into. Now, in the AWS console, we're going to create a new Lambda function. If you already have an existing one, you can use that instead. Pick a name, choose a runtime, and select the architecture. Then I'm just going to paste a very simple Lambda handler so we can test it later.
This diagram shows how the three OpenTelemetry layers come together inside an AWS Lambda environment and how telemetry flows out to Dash0. At the top, we start with a standard Lambda environment with a Lambda function and its handler code. Next, as you can see in orange, we add three OpenTelemetry related layers to the Lambda environment. And at the bottom, we zoom in on what happens when the Lambda is invoked. The instrumentation layer wraps the Lambda handler. It automatically instruments the code and creates traces, metrics, and logs as the function runs. That telemetry is exported locally inside the Lambda environment using OTLP. The OpenTelemetry Collector runs as a Lambda extension alongside the function. It receives the telemetry, processes it, batches it, and prepares it for export. Then the collector reads its configuration from the configuration layer. This is just a YAML file that tells it where to send data and how to authenticate. Finally, the collector forwards the telemetry to Dash0 over HTTP using OTLP.
Now, in a code editor, we're going to create the OpenTelemetry Collector configuration file. This collector listens locally inside the Lambda runtime and exports telemetry to Dash0 using OTLP over gRPC. We'll copy the example configuration from the integrations page, and we'll also create an authorization token for the default dataset. Now we're going to zip the configuration file so it can be uploaded as a Lambda layer. Next, we'll create a new layer using the zipped file. Pick the file and click Create. Keep this tab open because we're going to need the layer ARN in a moment. Next, we'll attach the three layers to the Lambda function. The first layer is the OpenTelemetry instrumentation layer. Let's go to the integrations page, copy this snippet, and this is runtime specific, so make sure to select the correct one. Replace the region and the version. You can check the version in the integrations page as well. The second layer is the OpenTelemetry Collector layer. Copy this snippet again, replace the region, the architecture, and the version. Make sure to choose the correct architecture. Now finally, we add the configuration layer that contains the collector config file we just created. Just copy the ARN from the other tab and paste it there. Finally, we wire everything together using environmental variables. So copy this, then on AWS, click on Configurations, go to Environmental Variables, Edit, and add the environmental variables that we just copied. This variable tells Lambda which OpenTelemetry wrapper to use. Now the second variable tells the collector where to find the configuration file. Copy and paste it. The file name and path must match exactly, otherwise it won't work. Now let's create a test event and invoke the Lambda function. As you can see, the function has ran successfully. Now if we switch back to Dash0 and open the tab Tracing view, we'll see each trace representing a single Lambda invocation. On the right-hand side, we can inspect span attributes such as the Lambda function name, invocation ID, duration, and whether it was a cold start. There's a lot more to explore, and as you can see, this gives us visibility into actually what happened inside the Lambda which is something logs alone can't provide.